Welcome back, my name is Kerry, and today I've got a big important update for the prefab home industry that was completely unexpected. Just when I thought I knew everything going on in this industry, I find out I'm a bit behind on some serious news. On top of that, it answers questions I've been wondering for almost a year, while rendering one of my recent videos pretty much irrelevant. It's a fascinating time in offsite construction, with big moves being made all the time as companies position themselves to build homes for all the people trying to buy. That results in not only a lot of new companies, but also expansions as existing companies try to increase their output and enter new markets. This specific news is especially interesting because both of the companies have been featured on the channel, one only about a month ago. It was recently announced that Vantem Global is expanding their US footprint by way of acquisition, which will bring some new options to an area that gets a lot of requests. What I'm going to do is tell you about the acquisition, let you know who it benefits, and what I think it means for buyers in that area. Last summer, it was announced that Vantem Global would open 15 factories in the United States over the next 7 years to produce affordable, energy-efficient homes. This, to me, was exciting news because I believe the more options available to buyers, the better off they'll be. Options give people the ability to shop around and deal with whoever they think is providing the most value. It's the exact reason I haven't paid full price for a pie at Papa John's for over a year. Papa Tracks. If you know, you know. When the news broke in July, I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to play out. 15 factories in 7 years is a hefty number of factories in a relatively short amount of time. My initial thought was they'd build a couple factories a year for the next 7 years, but turns out that isn't the case. If you haven't heard of Vantem Global, they're a prefab home company with what they describe as next-gen modular technology, delivering energy-efficient, climate-resilient, cost-effective homes at scale. Their website says Vantem's approach allows the production of high-efficiency and net-zero homes at extremely competitive costs and low embodied carbon. The way they do that is by simplifying construction, reducing costs, and delivery time. They're doing this with the use of structural insulated panels that they refer to as the Vantem panel, or the VanPan for short. No, they don't call it that, I made that up. They say Vantem panels are simplifying construction, reducing costs and time. They're highly structural and may be used to build multi-story structures without additional steel or concrete reinforcement. I get a lot of comments from people who are wondering how certain homes will handle extreme weather, and it's noted that these structures are fire resistant, hurricane resistant, and earthquake resistant, which will be important to consumers in the US expansion. Right now, they've got a large presence in South America, but have started their expansion into the US. In a recent interview, the CEO, Chris Anderson, said, "Vantem has created a new way of building that reduces costs and increases energy efficiency. Our homes are, on average, 20% lower in price than traditional construction and up to 70% more energy efficient. Homeowners pay less for their homes and save money on energy costs, further improving affordability and reducing the carbon footprint of their homes," which is also tremendously important. "We achieve this by rethinking how houses are built and developed a simpler, more productive system where they're made with large structural panels. These panels are thermally efficient, so homeowners aren't spending extra money on energy costs and can withstand extreme weather events like fires, hurricanes, and earthquakes. We build our homes in factories like cars on a production line, which further increases productivity and reduces costs. This allows us to build affordable, energy-efficient, climate-resilient housing at scale, including net zero homes that use no net energy from the grid." I installed a window AC unit DIY the other day, and I can literally see outside on both sides of the rig. That's the opposite of what he's talking about here. I really need to fix that. After wondering for almost a year what's been going on with Vantem, turns out their US expansion is already underway, and it's happening a little different than I expected. After many requests to find a prefab builder with options available in the Southeast, about a month ago I did a video on Affinity building systems. Published April 16th to be exact. A couple weeks later, on May 2nd, it was announced that Vantem Global had acquired Affinity Building Systems, which means there are going to be a few changes, and that video is pretty much useless only a month after posting. Which is okay because nobody watched it anyway. I first saw the news on Vantem's Instagram account with a link to an article on Business Wire, and there's a couple nuggets I think people will find very interesting. First, it says the acquisition is part of Vantem's nationwide growth strategy to establish 20 plants in the US, both through new facilities and the acquisition of highly qualified modular factories. That answers my question from earlier. It sounds like some of the factories are going to be purpose-built from the ground up and others are going to be acquired like we just saw with Affinity Building Systems. On the Vantem website, the Affinity logo is now showing as Affinity, a Vantem company. Now, I like the addition of the blue, it looks slick. The other noteworthy tidbit from the line in Business Wire is that now apparently they're going to be establishing 20 plants, 5 more than when it was originally reported last July. Things must be going well. Again, I've been saying for a while now that the more factories servicing people looking for this style of housing, the better, because not too long ago demand was outpacing production and it was a bit of a headache for buyers. The article goes on to say that Affinity joins Vantem as a well-respected, successful builder of high-quality, customizable modular homes. Once implemented, Vantem's technology will allow Affinity to expand its portfolio with well-priced, higher energy efficiency homes that are more hurricane and climate resistant. Vantem homes have withstood Category 5 hurricanes and are mold resistant, termite resistant, and fire resistant, yada yada yada. These homes are well suited for home buyers in the Southeast who've experienced the destruction caused by hurricanes and are looking for resilient new homes or rebuild options. Okay, a lot to talk about here. First of all, it's a bit fuzzy what exactly we're going to be getting out of the Affinity factory. Vantem's technology will be implemented and their portfolio will be expanded, but what are we gaining and what, if anything, are we losing when it comes to style of homes being built? Affinity currently builds a fairly classic looking modular home with peaked roofs and traditional siding. They've got some great looking homes and offer a variety of different shapes, sizes, and the ability to customize, but I probably wouldn't class them nearly as modern as some of the homes being built by Vantem in other locations. For example, this is a build from Affinity. It's got a peaked roof, wraparound porch, and lap siding. It's the traditional look, and a lot of people are looking for just that. However, I do get comments from people who are looking for a modern look in the Southeast, since it seems like most companies building that style of home are located in California. To find out more, I sent the CEO Chris a message to see if I could get a bit of insight on what will be available, and I think people will be pleased with his response. He said, "Hi Terry, good to hear from you. We're looking to build on Affinity's success. The company will continue to make the same products it always has and will service the same markets. We will be adding new features and attributes by injecting the Vantem system into engineering. Higher energy efficiency, so we will add new net zero options, even stronger climate resilience in hurricanes, mold resistance for high humidity areas. We will also be adding new flat roof contemporary designs to the mix." That's what I wanted to hear. New contemporary designs are headed to the Southeast. They're currently being designed specifically for the US market, which means unfortunately renderings aren't available, but I have put in a request to see them as soon as they're available, so stand by for those. For those who missed the first video, which was a lot of you, Affinity is based in Lakeland, Georgia, which is apparently near the Florida-Georgia line. I'm not going to make a joke about the band because I wasted it on the first one and I simply can't recycle a joke that soon. This is how we roll. They service Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, and Tennessee with their fairly large selection of models and options that's about to get a bit bigger. If you're one of the people that's commented looking for modern homes in the Southeast, I think this is good news because there's about to be more options. Vantem Global has acquired Affinity Building Systems as a part of their now 20 factory expansion into the US market. This was unexpected news as the two styles of build currently seem quite different. I'm familiar with both companies, but this is not something I would have predicted. I'm excited to see what happens from here as Vantem implements their technology and possibly offers new options to people in the Southeast. I definitely consider this big news in the industry, so I'll be following along to see what happens next and posting updates right here on my YouTube channel. That's all I've got for today. If you like manufactured home videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I've got new ones coming out every single week. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.